Sound the alarm. I'm consumed by your fire.
Welcome to another episode of 2B1.
This is 1 day till 10 years.
I can scream.
I know. It's crazy. We have come a long, long way, and we still have a long way to go.
Absolutely. Forever. Ain't that what we say at the end of the podcast?
2B1 forever.
So today we wanted to talk about plans for our future, right? We're one day shy of reaching that awesome 10-year wedding anniversary milestone. But we got a lot more life to live, a lot more time to spend together as a married couple. And so what is one thing that you are really looking forward to in the next so many years together?
I think just constantly looking for new ways to be a better husband is exciting, as well as it can feel daunting, but I don't think it is because you're not a difficult person to please. You're very reasonable in your ask when you do decide to ask, and you're getting better at that. So I think that, so looking at ways where I could be a better husband and serving you on a day-to-day basis, not like from a like slaves like standpoint, but like just like ways just to show appreciation, ways to just show that you're supported, like finding those new ways, because you're going to continue to grow in those areas,
Right.
and those things are going to change. So I'm looking forward to that because I think sometimes we get the idea that marriage is boring. I don't think it's boring. I think it is very, you could kind of be in what is like a holding pattern for periods of times or seasons. And so I think that gets touted as boring, but that's not boring. That's just seasons where maybe it's time for you to stay closer to home. It's time for you to spend more time with your family. You should be thankful for seasons like that because there's going to be seasons that are so chaotic that you say, who is this person next to me? So I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing the ways that you grow. And then even getting to see the ways that I grow as a result of our relationship. I think we've done a great job at supporting one another. I think we will continue to do that, but it will look different as we grow older. So I would say growing in my husbandhood and even fatherhood as well. And you support me in that, and you help me to grow in that area. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think I look forward to very much the similar things, growing as your wife, and growing as a mother. I think I look forward to vacations and more memories, like building these core memories together as a family is something that I really look forward to. And I think we're doing the things right now to make sure that we do those things in a reasonable and affordable and smart way. So yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, what has been your highlight with the last 10 years?
Ooh, my highlight.
And this is just marriage, so you can't use the
I
children.
can't use the birth of my
the go-to,
kids.
That's the go-to for both of us, I believe.
No, that is the go-to.
But in our marriage, what has been the highlight?
I would say, I don't know. For some reason, I want to answer this as a memory or an event in our relationship. And for that reason, I'm going to say our trip to LA
Okay.
would be a highlight in the last 10 years for me because it was one of our first trips together outside of our honeymoon. And I think on that trip, we really just spent good time together and had good conversation. We like enjoyed the area, even though I'm never a fan of that plane ride to LA, but once we get there,
I feel like you age. You get there, you all stiff and
I am. I don't. It's something.
not you. I'm saying we. Like I'm like
Together.
we get up off that plane and it's like your hips are stiff, your legs are stiff. We need to do more stretching.
I guess because it's something about that plane ride that just really just takes me over the edge. But anyway, in that trip, I feel like we just like really moved forward in our relationship somehow. I don't know. I think just like going somewhere, like we always talked about vacationing and like going somewhere new and experiencing new fun things together, and I think that was the first time we actually like could do it and it be like far from home, not just like Delaware or Jersey or whatever.
I think
what's your highlight?
So my highlight, I can think of so many, but I think if we're going to bring up modern and kind of the same theme, I would say that my highlight was definitely the Vegas trip we just took in October. We had a blast, and we're not gamblers, but we didn't leave Vegas in the red. We actually won. We actually kind of came out on top. I hit like this digital like craps table, and I hit on there for like was that like $117 or something
like that?
It wasn't that crazy.
The gamblers out there are shaming us currently. Like, bye, that is not a win. But a win is a win, okay?
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
As long as you ain't losing.
Exactly.
You winning in Vegas. So,
and you got to do the math right, because people be saying that they winning and they be lying.
Yeah.
If you put $1,000 out and you made $1,000, you did not win. You broke even, honey.
Yeah, you have to walk out of there with $2,000 to actually win. So, the Vegas trip. Not only that, I mean, we can go into.
I feel like we had a lot of spontaneity too when we went to Vegas.
We didn't plan a lot.
We didn't plan a lot. We didn't like everything was very like, ooh, we should go do that today. Yeah. And if we didn't, or like if we talked about it that morning and it didn't happen, we were okay with it. We were like, it's fine. Like,
we plan to be as adventurous as we were refreshed. We took their Metro tram thing that they have.
Yeah,
that was
cool.
Pretty cool. I don't know if they could do that in Philly.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, we get crazy because the L and all that is crazy. Plus, they already have major transportation, so they would never put like that kind of thing, which was pretty inexpensive. Yeah, to have passes for a few days, but it was cool. Oh, and we went and saw Usher. Now she going again, so I don't know.
Yes.
Hey, Ush. So hey. Don't be getting crazy, all right? Because she's going again, and I ain't gonna be there.
No, I don't got that great of a ticket, honey.
Oh, I mean, well, you gonna be in the house?
I ain't saying that close.
But Usher, you just want to be in the house. You just want to be in the house. But I'm being facetious when I say that. But because a lot of y'all was upset, y'all had a lot to say with the Keke Palmer and stuff and all that. But there's always more to the story, and it's not always that one person is crazier than the other. It could be that both are crazy. And I can admit, in our disagreements, we both might be crazy. It is what it is. But we both probably feel the other one is crazier than the other one. And that's just the way it goes. But we still love each other. And we'll get into stuff like that as we go along, too. But, Vegas was, that was a blast. It was both of our first time again being somewhere. It was just us. You don't understand what it's like to get away and not have your children with you. I know you're going to say, oh, you're a bad parent. You're trying to, no. If
We're great parents
out there. Get you some trusted people who you send your kid to daycare. I'm sure you can find somebody that you can have a relationship and be close with and trust them. Right. We have a yaya. You know, in Avengers when Tony Stark, I think, says it, and they're like, he's real calm, and it's like a situation. I think the villain asks like, "Why are you so like confident or calm?" And he goes, "We have a Hulk." And
we have a yaya.
We have a yaya. We have a Dr. Mickens. We have, people who really care for our children almost as much as we do. I can't say this as much as we do because nobody will ever care for our children other than God more than we do. So, but we have trusted individuals, and I encourage you to build a family, a relationship like that, a chosen family. It's not going to always be the ones who have the same blood as you, because that's important.
Yeah.
So,
And that's even a challenge to ourselves, because even though we have a Yaya and she's a entrusted person, we still don't use it as often as we probably should, which is one of our goals, which was going to be my next question. What is your top goal for our relationship? And it doesn't have to be something like that's attainable in the next year or 5 or 10. Just like, what is a goal that you have for our relationship?
I think I'm looking forward to us being in the greatest health that we've ever been. We both have different health things. I can name mine. I'm sleep apnea, high blood pressure that I need to get under control, and I think that will even add to the quality of our relationship. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to breaking family, I don't want to say curses, but strongholds, family strongholds of not taking care of yourself for different reasons. Some of it was financial. I don't want to speak too much about you, but I know for you, it was more of a mindset of like, if it's not a severe emergency, don't go. I know we've had that conversation. For me, it was opposite. My mom was different because in our situation, my dad always had the job in the post office, always had the pretty top tier benefits and things like that. So my mom would take us to the doctors for little stuff. We got like a slight fever, we're at the doctors because it's nothing but a copay at that point and whatever the prescription was. And so it was different. But as I've grown into a man, I've taken on some of the habits of the men in my family. And so while I do go to the doctor regularly, I see a cardiologist twice a year at least. I'm at the dentist as many times as you're supposed to be in the dentist in the calendar year. See my eye doctor once a year. I'm at my primary at least once a year. And I check in when I'm sick. There are things that I'm not doing to follow up. So I'm looking forward to it. And I had a real serious conversation with my mom walking into work. Yes, I work with my mommy. So go ahead and tease me about that.
You're the one that said mommy.
I'm a mama's boy. People say it all the time. Oh, you going to your mommy? The car dude said that when I took the cars to the shop. My mom picked me up because we worked together and it was right down the street from my job. And she picked me up at the car shop and took me into work. And so the guy was teasing me like, oh, your mommy came and picked you up? And I'm like, yeah. Don't be mad at me because my mom loves me. Do not be mad at me because of that. But anyway, I digress from that and get back to the point is being in my greatest health because my inheritance is health. My inheritance is wealth by way of my family. I do believe financially. Also that, getting our finances together and walking into a season, an extended season, a prolonged season of blessings because we're living like the blessed, and that's taking care of our health, taking care of our finances, and ultimately taking care of our relationship. Right. So when those two things aren't stressing you out, you have more time to to intentionally engage and participate in the relationship. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, that's good.
How about you?
I think you hit mines right at the tail end of when you were talking. For me, definitely a goal for our relationship and our family is to get in a better financial place and not let it be a source of stress, a source of contention or bitterness, or even something that creates a barrier to creating memories and creating a safe space for love and joy and connection to flourish. So definitely that's one of my goals, is to get our finances in order, make sure that they all look good and that they're headed in the path that we want them to head in. I know in our relationship, I'm the one that kind of handles the budget, and I've kind of dropped the ball a little bit on that recently in the last, I would say, like year or two. But just kind of shifting my perspective and changing my mindset of it and not letting it be a ruler over me or
Yeah.
our relationship, or even it being a marker of like how well we're doing.
Yeah.
I just want it to be balanced. I want it to be green and
And,
not
and
be a
some.
source of stress. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think just being good stewards
Of what we already
of
have.
what we have,
Yeah.
we're fortunate.
Yeah.
We are
Absolutely.
very fortunate because even with some of our poor financial habits, we're not drowning.
Right.
We're able to manage it. We can have a plan to get it together. And ultimately, God is going to provide
Yeah.
well beyond any of our mistakes. He's the God of grace
Exactly.
and mercy. So I fully believe that. And I don't think it's a one way. I think while you manage the budget well and you document and you calculate and do all those things well, I don't think it's just your job to manage the budget per se. It's more so the administrative task that you're better at than I am, but I still need to do better at being, and this kind of goes into a question I was going to ask, what do you think I could do better at? But I'm kind of answering the question for
You're
myself.
answering for yourself?
Yeah, so for me, I think being a participant, so not allowing my maybe, I don't know what to call it, but I'm not as great administratively as she is. So sometimes I kind of allow that to disqualify me from being a part of the process altogether. But just because I'm not great at it, it's not necessarily needed for me to do the administrative work. It's more so be in the mix so you know what's going on.
Right.
And an older person who's married put it like this: like if you don't know, like if you just leave it to your wife to do it, then God forbid she goes down. Let's not even go to the extent of like go dead, but just like health wise, you go down, and it's like you don't need to be trying to do the budget like that. And so if I don't have any knowledge of it, I can't even manage what I need to manage to keep things afloat until you can kind of get back into the flow.
Right.
And so just being a part of it, having at least monthly discussions, because now we get paid weekly because our checks are split. So kind of navigating that, I think that's going to be really helpful too. Even in this season, as we look to get our finances back on track, that's going to be very helpful.
Yeah.
Because we can give ourselves grace because we know that next check is coming another week. So not that we can go crazy, but if something happens or whatever, it's like, all right, well, at least we know we can pay every week. We don't have to wait a whole extra week. So I think even in that, there's favor that God provided with having that arrangement. So for me, it's just being more involved in that area so that you're not also carrying, I think said from Charlotte and said, he tries to help carry the mental load. And so I think being involved in that could help with that. So that's why I would say I can improve to help you carry the mental load at least, because you're doing the physical, the balancing and all that. But if I'm there to help and I'm looking, not help, but to participate better is a better way of putting it, because helping would be like if it's not my responsibility. But it is a part of my responsibility. So if I'm there to participate, that'll at least help with the mental load. So then you can, have a little less stress on you about that and not carry it yourself. So I think what I would say about us, and then you can answer. So I'll I'll bring it together. I think we can get better at helping each other carry mental loads.
Oh, absolutely.
We both struggle with that
Yeah.
big time. Like we don't really fight, we have seasons where we get irritated by each other. But it's mostly because of our own head stuff that we're trying to process by ourselves, instead of saying it and saying, hey, I'm dealing with this. Could you help me? Like there's time I go in and out of functional depression about my dad. And so there's times where she probably can sense it, but I'm not saying anything.
Right.
Because there's this unhealthy grit of being a man that you feel like you got to carry it yourself, and you feel like you're overburdening and you don't want to put like your sadness on whatever. But there's times where I feel way better when I'm able to tell her, like, I broke down crying in the car, because one of my songs that make me think about my dad is Moon by Kanye West. And he was big on the moon. He would call us whenever it was super moon and all that stuff. And that song became kind of like my anthem. And if I needed to cry, I throw that on. And to this day still, like, if I need to cry, I might throw that on, because it just has that feel, because that album Donda was about him, his missing of his mother and all those things that she taught him and all that kind of stuff. And so that song really hit me because it was, it says, I want to go to the moon. Don't leave so soon. Don't leave so. How can I get through? Like that right there, just the first time I heard it, because that Donda album came out around the same time, that took me out. So just to say as an example, that is the kind of thing that I'm thinking about as far as like being able to help to be more cognizant about sharing that with you and not always trying to just bear it myself. Mm-hmm. So, and I know you'll have my back. Like you've had my back since we've been dating. So,
yep.
I just realized I got the Jonathan Majors haircut. Like that's a random thought.
What?
But I definitely just realized that's what I have on my head right now. But I like it, and it fits my head and face, so too bad. I guess I'm Jonathan Majors' brother.
No. Oh, my God.
Well, my brother Josh kind of looked like him, but that's neither here nor there.
That's neither here nor there. I'm cracking up. That just reminded me of when we went out to eat. And the server... So me and Levi, side note, how did we get to this? But side note, we went on, what was it? It was like a couple's brunch?
Because it was a group of people we remember meeting with them with Pastor.
Oh, right. We did like a couple's Bible study.
3 week, like a month long thing.
And then to kind of like celebrate together or whatever, we decided to do a brunch.
Yeah.
So me and Levi got there late because we had to drop off our kids to whoever was watching them. I can't even remember. But when we got there, we didn't even talk to anybody that was sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And then we go and get food, and the server's like, "Oh, you guys are with the guy over there."
Kang. He said Kang. He said he said y'all are with Kang. And we might have to try to put a picture of who we're talking about.
I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And he was like, with the movie star. You know the movie star?
The last villain from the Avengers.
And I was like, he is not in a movie. That is just Josh.
And we didn't realize that he had told him he was. He's like, oh.
So then we got back to the table, and our Wayne was like, "Did he tell y'all that he thinks Josh is Jonathan Majors?" And I was like, "No, I burst that bubble right. Like, absolutely not.
That's
I'm not playing that game."
Y'all didn't tell me. I would have played along with it.
And I would have not. I would have did the same thing I did. I would have told that man
that's
he is not Jonathan Majors.
Listen,
he is Josh.
But now, fast forward, Josh, don't ever tell nobody, John. Make it clear.
Yeah.
Say Jameis Winston. Say James. As a matter of fact, that might not be a good one either.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, back to us talking about our future.
That's life with a husband that has ADHD.
Welcome to my life. And sometimes I play into it, and other times I'm irritated by it. But either way, that goes into your question was,
what could we get better at? Or what do you, if you want to
right. So then
say me, or you want to do yourself? I don't
know. No, because my answer was going to be grace. I think. Okay. And it's an area that I'm continuing to work on each and every day of my life, is to give Levi more grace.
Start with yourself first, baby.
Or give myself grace.
That is where it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's shout out to therapy. That's what I'm working on.
That's where it's gonna. I'm telling you, and so I tend not to take a lot of stuff too personal when you're getting too.
No, but I think
it does wear on me sometimes.
Yeah,
but I try to make sure I remember, like, it's because she doesn't give herself grace.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like empathetic for you, because I'm like, as hard as she is on me, she's even harder on herself. Like, that's just the reality. And so I try to remember that. I'm human, so it still hurts sometimes, because I also don't give myself a lot of grace. Mm-hmm. And some of you know we were in a car accident. And so that was one of the things or themes that popped back up, because in my life, I've had certain struggles. And again, in my own personal podcast, when I sit down with my mom, you'll hear about my academic struggles and all that. And you'll hear about those kind of things and some other things from my childhood struggles that I've had about competency and insecurities. But yeah, back to what you were saying. As much as I appreciate you saying give me grace, I really think it has to start with you first. So I'm not even expecting it to. And you're not this. Let's not paint the picture. She's not a nagging wife, right? Like I said in the episode before, she's very reasonable. Or 2 episodes ago, she's very reasonable in what she asked for. Sometimes it's things that I just don't think about. And so that becomes the problem is like, why don't you think about that? That's the first thing on my mind. You prioritize, like we just had that offshoot, that conversation. You prioritize, basically it feels like you prioritize things that don't deserve priority. And sometimes I do. Like they don't necessarily, I can admit that I do. But so yeah, I would say I love your answer and I appreciate that. So if you want to keep going, you can go ahead.
Thanks. No, I think you pointed out a valid point that yes, that it does start with me gracing myself and releasing myself of these high expectations or like unreasonable expectations most of the time. And so why I said I would like to improve in even gracing you is because I think like you said, those expectations that I already put on myself and then I kind of transfer them onto you. And not saying that it's not good to not hold your husband to a certain standard or a certain expectation, because I think there is value or validity in that. But it's when it creates tension in our marriage. Or tension in the moment that we're having, is what I want to improve in, and not letting a small thing take up a big space in our relationship.
Yeah. So I think for me, that is huge. And sometimes I think there's seasons where we do it better than others.
Oh, absolutely.
Like where we easily let go of things. Like, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That's not let that go.
I think it's harder when we are already like dealing with our own inner stresses and we're not vocalizing that. So we're not having that communication with each other.
Yeah.
And then grace falls to the wayside and then irritability comes up and
100%.
Yeah. And the tension rises. But overall, I mean, I think we have good plans for the future.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to being surprised too. Because we serve a good God. A great God.
I was about to say, surprise of what?
Well, I'm just looking at being shocked. We talked about our finances.
We're anticipating blessings on blessings on blessings.
Yes. So I expect a windfall financially. I expect it to be so crazy that I can't even take credit for it, that Diana can't even take credit for it. Like our careers won't even be able to explain where you see us elevate to financially. And this is not for us to brag on us. This, like I said, it's not going to be explainable. We won't be able to explain it. That's what we'll get up on here one day and we'll be like, yo, we moving to this. When we show y'all the new house we moved to, and we're going to be like, we don't even know how this happened.
It's not even, I mean, like to me, yeah, like I definitely want that and I believe that and like speak it into existence, babe. Speak it into existence. But it's not like I don't care about the amount of numbers or anything like that. Like I just want to be at peace financially.
That's the last thing I'll say, and I agree with you. So I did get carried away with talking about finances and making more money. We would love that. But again, like Diana said, we want, so the truest sign that God is all in it is when we're elevating in the materials world, in the world, our peace is also elevating. our unity is also elevating, right? So that's the key. I don't want the windfall unless that piece is going to match that. Like, I don't want the
Amen.
windfall and we're in shambles otherwise.
Right.
You know, we ain't got to worry about bills no more. But guess what? We ain't making it to 15. We ain't making it to 20. We ain't making it to because.
And I think
we
a
don't have
lot,
that in
a lot
order.
too, our desire for like stability financially and growth financially is because we both have huge hearts of giving
Yeah.
and helping and serving others,
Mm-hmm.
that we know when the Lord blesses us and we're at a financial peace stage, that our hearts are only going to grow even more in giving and serving and helping others, which
Yes.
is one of the things that we connected over and bonded over and led to us being married.
Yes. So, thank you for indulging us on this journey. 10
Thank you for
days.
listening to our future plans.
Yes. This is One Day Till 10. We will see you live on the day as we prepare ourselves to go celebrate
To
on the day,
celebrate.
on the actual date. And so we'll talk to you then, and hopefully you'll be there. So be there, ask us some questions, engage with us, laugh with us, be silly, go on my random thought patterns. You know,
Join me
yeah.
on the roller coaster that is Levi's brain.
Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. That's the big thing. We are trying to get to 500. I want to see.
Help us.
I'm hoping at this point. I'm putting the message out there now. This while we're recording this, I'm putting it out there. I want to see if you can get us to 500 by tomorrow. So hopefully by this point we're in the twos or three. Let's say the 300s, and there's only 200 left. I got 1,600 Facebook friends. So can I get 500 of y'all to go ahead, and I'm gonna do a video before this comes out that'll do the same thing. But can I get 500 of y'all to subscribe to our channel and run those views up? Share it everywhere. It doesn't cost anything to support us. Subscribe, share, like, comment, engage. Hopefully you enjoy.
And thank you for joining us on 2B1
2B1 forever.
forever.